Imagine this: a father who loved his daughter so much that he simply refused to accept her death. A man so obsessed with bringing her back that he challenged the very idea of mortality itself, and an experiment that would eventually create some of the most terrifying beings ever hidden inside Playtime Company. But here's the question: did he really bring his daughter back, or did he create something far worse? Today, we're uncovering the complete story of Poppy Gel, a tale of love, obsession, and the horrifying price of immortality. The year was 1930. On a cold morning, a visionary named Ludwig began building what he hoped would become a dream factory. His goal was simple: to bring joy to children around the world. As the years passed, that small toy factory grew into a massive empire known as Playtime Company. But every empire comes with a cost. Elliot became so consumed by his work that his wife, Molly, began to feel completely alone. Their marriage slowly fell apart. Eventually she left, and from that moment on, Elliot was left with only two things: his factory and his toys. In 1949, everything changed. Elliot adopted a little girl and named her Poppy. For the first time in years, happiness returned to his life. Her laughter seemed to bring warmth even to the cold walls of the factory. When Poppy turned 1 year old, Elliot handcrafted a special doll just for her, a doll designed to look exactly like his daughter. It became the very first Poppy Playtime doll. To Elliot, it was more than a toy. It was a symbol of the family he thought he had finally found. But happiness never lasts forever. One day, without warning, Poppy was gone, and with her, the last piece of Elliot's world disappeared. Most people eventually learned to let go. Elliot couldn't. He refused to accept that his daughter was truly gone. Instead of saying goodbye, he preserved her body. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into years. And every night the same question haunted him: can death be reversed? Can someone be brought back? That question slowly became an obsession. And that obsession eventually became madness. By 1960, Elliot's research had taken a strange turn. He became fascinated by flowers associated with Poppy and began investigating their unusual biological properties. The toy factory slowly transformed into something else. Laboratories replaced workshops, chemical containers replaced toys, and countless experiments began. His first major test involved a dead mouse. The project was labeled Experiment 814. The result? Complete failure. The mouse remained lifeless. But instead of giving up, Elliot became even more determined. After years of relentless experimentation, he finally created it was called the restorative gel mixture. But history would remember it by another name: Poppy Gel. And when it was applied to dead tissue, something happened. Cells began to move. Life seemed to return. For the first time, Elliot believed he had discovered a way to defeat death itself. But one question remained: would it work on a human? To find out, Elliot adopted another child. His name was Oliver. Oliver believed he had found a new home, a new family, a new father. But in Elliot's eyes, he was becoming something else, a test subject. When Poppy Gel was introduced into Oliver's body, the results were horrifying. His form changed. His body twisted and transformed, and eventually a new creature emerged. Experiment 106, the being now known as the prototype, a creature that was neither fully human nor fully machine, terrifying, deformed, yet undeniably alive. For Elliot, it was proof death could be beaten. But by then, another problem had appeared. Poppy's original body had deteriorated beyond repair. Bringing her back in human form was no longer possible. So Elliot made a horrifying decision. He gathered what remained of her biological material, mixed it with Poppy Gel, and transferred the living substance into the doll he had created years earlier. Then, something incredible happened. The doll's eyes flickered. A faint spark of life appeared, and the doll moved. Experiment 107. Poppy, no longer human, no longer dead. Something entirely different. A living doll? The effects of Poppy Gel went far beyond simple resurrection. Both Poppy and the prototype had become effectively immortal. They no longer needed food. They no longer feared thirst. And perhaps most terrifying of all, they no longer feared death. But is eternal life truly a gift? Or is it a curse? For years, they remained trapped within the walls of Playtime Company, and over time, the factory transformed from a toy company into a prison of living nightmares. But the story doesn't end there. Years later, during the events of Chapter 5, a player was submerged in Poppy Gel by the prototype. Yet somehow, the player survived. And that raises a disturbing question. Is today's Poppy Gel still the same substance Elliot originally created? Or has it changed into something entirely different after decades in the darkness? And if that's true, what other secrets are still hidden inside the walls of Playtime Co? Perhaps the answer is waiting, somewhere deep within the factory.